I'm Richard Hawthorne. I'm Business Development Director at Leadent. We're an independent management consultancy. We were formed 5 years ago to deliver business transformation services. We work primarily with blue chip customers. We've grown probably at a rate of about 50% since we were set up. And we operate primarily in the utilities sector, asset intensive, public sector and retail CPG. Yeah, as an organisation, we've been a Sage customer probably for about 4 years, because we also use the finance system, which is a Sage product. Pretty early on, from when we were a startup, we realised that having all come from quite large consultancies, that we needed quite a bit of automation in the business. And so, in fact, we also introduced ACT for our CRM solution at the time. What happened fairly early on is that we were quite successful in growing the business. This put quite a bit of pressure on the sales engine. We decided that as part of the overall improvement that we needed a better system, because we needed to involve more of our people actually in that sales process. Otherwise, things were going to be slowed down. There were going to be bottlenecks in that whole sales process. So one of the key factors in deciding to move away from ACT to a more functionally rich system, which is certainly the case of SalesLogix, the key factor was actually that we needed to ensure that remote synchronization worked more efficiently. When we were selecting the tool, we had defined a particular process that we should adopt, and it was quite a rigorous process. And we started off with quite a long list of software solutions that we could potentially use. And we quickly honed that down to looking at 3 in quite some detail. And one of them was actually from Microsoft, which was a new product that had come along. One of them was a bespoke solution that sounded as if it could satisfy our needs, and one of them was SalesLogix. And we did quite a rigorous evaluation on all 3 of those. And I guess one of the key factors, we looked at various criteria to enable us to be quite objective about that. I think when you're selecting this sort of product, there's quite a bit of desk work that you can do. But to be honest with you, there's nothing that beats setting up some criteria for a demonstration. And it was actually when we saw all of these products in action that gave us a huge amount of confidence in SalesLogix. And to be obvious, in the partner as well. Yeah, we've seen some really interesting benefits that have come out of this, and it's more to do with the ability to mobilise within our organisation whoever we need to mobilise in order to take something really from the early stages of a cold call right the way through the process, may or may not include me. And so what it's allowed us to do is to give us the flexibility to involve the consultants in the team who really understand the solution and the services that we're trying to promote and discuss with a particular client. Now, if we hadn't got this particular system, then it would be quite difficult to actually track the process through the sale. And whilst it doesn't sound as if perhaps that's a major factor, once you start multiplying that situation by 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, then you begin to have an information management issue that you couldn't possibly solve in any other way. Add to the fact that most of those consultants are, they're really, what shall I say, masters of their trade and in quite some demand. So often they're not in the office, they're out on client site, they're either delivering projects or they are visiting prospective clients. So you end up with some dynamics there that without the sort of system like SalesLogix, it just couldn't be done. Now we've added something additional in. So one of the benefits that we get is it's not just helped us to make sales, it's also helped us to manage the account better. And the account management information is available to our account managers and consultants in the field. My primary role in the organisation is to identify new prospects. I run with a lot of balls in the air, and so for me to be able to keep track of all of that dialogue that I'm having with all of those different organisations all the time, then I couldn't possibly do it without something that was pretty slick. Now what's been happening is that we've been growing our client base significantly. What I anticipate and the plans that we've got now is that we deal more with let's say FTSE 100 companies and large public sector clients, because we've also just won the Catalyst framework, which is the replacement for the government's services catalogue, which is SCAT. So there are quite a lot of complex transformations that are actually going on within all of these FTSE 100 and very large public sector companies. And I anticipate that we're, with the sort of projects that we're doing right now, we will grow our business with those sorts of clients. There will therefore, with those FTSE 100 organisations, become much more of an international dimension. So I anticipate that the geography, with people being more out of the office, we'll be able to sync whether we're in a hotel in Helsinki or if we're in a hotel in Leeds. So that's the sort of system we needed, and I think that's the sort of system we've got. Being a Sage customer, we recognise that Sage don't go direct to the market, and we needed to liaise through a business partner. We work with SeeLogic, and how that works for us is that we developed quite a strong relationship during the demonstration phase, and compared, I think, with the alternatives, they were streets ahead. The reason for that is because they seem to have the right expertise, not just on the product itself, but actually on being able to listen to what we needed. So their consulting skills are very strong. And I think when we'd made the decision, the blueprinting, the absolutely essential blueprinting stage, that was very fast, efficient, the training worked well. We find these guys responsive and flexible, and that's the sort of organisation we need. I would think as a customer we're pretty demanding, because hopefully we've been there ourselves, and so that sometimes potentially creates tension, because we are ambitious, we are moving in a fast way. To be perfectly frank, we needed to find a business partner who could run in parallel with all of that going on, and SeeLogic have never failed us.